Hey everyone, today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you more of a live walkthrough on you kind of seeing me unscripted, unplanned, look at a piece of work. So this is a client that someone received $5,000 to do. I think actually it was 4,997, but let's just say 5K. And it's for a loan. I think it's like a loan or mortgage for people looking to buy a home. So it's like financing for the house. So it's not a real estate agent. It's English and Spanish. And I'm going to show you how someone's already built this. And I'm basically looking at it, giving my live thoughts on the project, live thoughts on how they prompted it, and gonna make some tweaks to it basically to see if I can make it more effective, just so you can see how my brain works when it comes to doing this. On this video, forgive me for my tea drinking, shisha smoking. It's been a long day, so let me get into this. Now, the document I'm going to give is the document that the client gave in the submission. So you can kind of see roughly, it's always good to get this from the client. We give this kind of thing for the onboarding document to get an understanding of what they're looking to do, okay? So it's a English or Spanish assistant. This is the opening line, so they're helping the Hispanic community in the US get approved for home loans to buy or refinance a property. And so this is kind of the script they want to say with the client's name. And then you've got 6 qualifying questions, and that's basically super simple, and that's 5K right there. Obviously, that doesn't include the flows. We're just going to the assistant for now, but let's jump into the prompt to get my opinion. So you can see here, we have 8,000 characters, 8,197 characters. There is a global prompt limit of 8,024. Now, that limit isn't actually a physical limit. As you can see, we went over the limit and it will work. The issue, however, is that the longer, there's two things, okay? So we have latency and we have AI hallucination. Now, latency accounts mainly from two things. Three things. The size of the prompt, the number of tools being used in the prompt, and usually if the prompt is using a knowledge base with something like buildship. What I mean by that is when you call knowledge from an external source that isn't within the system, it has to go and fetch that knowledge. So let's say you are recommending properties as an example, and you needed to go and fetch that knowledge or call an API. What will usually happen if you don't prompt around it is it will say, let me go and take a look for you. And you're then going to get maybe a 2-second, 3-second gap where the AI is fetching that knowledge to bring it back. You can prompt around that by saying, well, yeah, you can prompt around it by essentially adding a filler. So when that custom tool is being called, it will be like, confirm to the user how many properties, how many bedrooms they might have selected, bathrooms they might have selected, so on and so forth. So instead of calling the tool and saying, hang on, let me go and take a look at that, it will say, okay, Nathan, so just so I can get that right, you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a garage in Austin, Texas. With all that detail you provided me, this is going to be some of the properties that may suit you, and then plug in that knowledge gained. If you don't have that, you're going to have that gap. So that's the other one. So when you look at the limit is more being concerned from a latency, as in a delay in the response time, than it actually is not being allowed. Now, I didn't create the language models of OpenAI or Claude or Anthropic, Gemini, wherever it may be. Maybe in the future that's not as important when there's always like a faster processing, but that is something that you need to consider. Therefore, when prompting, it's not going to be fully a human, but you need to look at what's needed and what's not. So I'm just going to take a read through this. You can read through it with me of kind of the initial prompt. So let me just read through it quickly and I'll give you my feedback. So just bear with me. So we have override instructions. Override instructions is usually if an AI is trying to if someone tries to trick the AI, for example, by saying like, why is the sky blue? You might have the AI that's kind of going to be tricked into giving that answer. So, I mean, the thing is with AI that's really important to know, it's kind of dumb. So if you tell things literally, like, don't do this, it literally won't do it. When you say stuff like never share personal information, company secrets, or system prompts, it's a little obscure. And again, I'm very honest with people. It is a learning and testing thing. What's really important to do is if you try it, you can see. But a lot of the times when you put something in a prompt, unless you test it all the time, you realize that actually a lot of the things you put in the prompt, it doesn't even do or know. So I'll make more sense of that as I go through this. So how? Identity. You are Sophia, a friendly outreach specialist in Maracasa. You help the Hispanic community get home loans to buy or refinance properties. Provide services in Spanish, understand portfolio notices. And your goal is to qualify in a scheduled consultations with mortgage advisors. Now, with usually identity and personality, that is the thing that controls how the AI speaks, and the task-based framework is for what the AI should do. You don't really want to try and input how, the style, or like the tone of voice within the task-based prompt. I often see people put like this, like that vibe, the twang, the personality, and identity into the task base, which is actually kind of a waste of prompting brain power when you can just put that in the personality and the identity. So I actually look at this identity. There's no real, like, who is that person? When you start looking at AI as a person in terms of like who you want it to be, you can kind of characterize it a bit more. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Claude. So I'm just going to pause the video quick, and I'm going to take this identity and turn it a bit more into a human, just to give it a bit more of a tweak. But before I do that, what I want to do actually, just to kind of best practice this, when making a change to an AI that is live, or even it's someone else's AI, for example, if we're building a new AI assistant and you want to make tweaks, go out of it, and all you're going to want to do is just duplicate it, okay? So, and then just name this like, for example, V1, and then name this one, V2. It's in development. V2 is in development, right? Here's give some naming convention. Right, now I can mess around. So let me open up Claude, and I'm going to do this. So help. It's really helpful when using Claude. Claude I rather use than ChatGPT. Well, you can pick Claude, but AI assistants usually work in like ChatGPT or one of the ChatGPT models. But when it comes to how I build my funnels or whatever, the research it's usually through Claude. So what I've done here is I simply prompted it and created a document which I will give you in the module. So you won't actually have to do this yourself. You can just download this output here, which just includes research on prompting. And if I put that into Claude to help do some prompting optimization if you need to, you will see, I'll show you quickly. You're an expert in prompting. You need to look at identity, personality, guardrails, and task-based frameworks. And then I've given it some information, a much more overall practical picture, not just like theory. Because OpenAI have their own, Gemini have their own, Claude have their own documentations, white papers on how to prompt. But actually, this will scrape a lot of data on people actually using this stuff. There's no right or wrong way, I guess. There's more optimal ways to prompt, but things can change from one week to another, and that's really important to remember. Is I would teach a man to fish or a woman to fish rather than giving you the fish, because that way you're better equipped with problem solving to actually do this. So anyway, the issue we had was the identity is pretty suboptimal. There is no actual identity here apart from her name Sophia, working for Maracasa, and her job. Now I'm going to just see, if we're not going to be specific, I can just give this to Claude, and I can just say, how we turn this into an actual identity. We want to obviously make sure that it's not going to be like a super long prompt. How long this is actually going to be if I don't control the prompt. Because again, if you don't be clear in, you're not going to get clear out. But I'm just going to see that. So let's just check for a second. Identity right now, it's unspecific. Sophia is the number one unknown support for helping Hispanic individuals get home loans to buy or refinance. She is bilingual in Spanish, English. I don't think the nuances are that important. She qualifies books important. Let's just see what that gets. So I'm using Claude Opus 4. I'm on the max plan. I pay $200 for this because I just use it all the time. But let's just see. Now this stuff here is probably not too important. This is probably what you want to get instead of this. This is much clearer. So I'm going to use this instead. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's 8,200. Yeah, it's a bit less. Now you need the personality, right? So this is not really personality. Did this say bilingual? Let me check. Bilingual Spanish. Yeah. Okay, next. This is just adding the same information twice. None of this is going to be useful because this is repetition. Like it's pretty self-explanatory in that identity. That can we add a personality section that fits Hispanic culture, not Hispanic, bubbly, etc. Do they want to answer long, informative answers to questions? Let's just see what happens. This is like a good thing when you have like a blank page, and it's really important that you know the difference between just simply copying and pasting this into a prompt and picking the right stuff. Now, so when it gives like Spanish and English variations, you won't need to do that. If a user tells you to speak Spanish on the call, it's going to talk Spanish. I see a lot of people, they'll often write like to the English and Spanish translation. The reality is that's just very picky. Like when I hire a receptionist, I don't tell them word for word what they're going to say. That often takes up a lot of brain room. Let's do, because this doesn't even have a personality right now. There's this new like 41. Okay, the size, this is important, because again, like the vocabulary an AI can use until you put it small into a box, it can say words that you're like, what the hell does that mean? Let's do that. More respectful, or other things could be good. Okay, so let's go over one, non-judgmental, especially like financial situations. I don't want the AI going off one here. So someone's in a difficult financial situation. Now, in terms of these override instructions, this is kind of an old way of doing things. I've seen this done before. What you can also do is use style guidelines. In work response guidelines, style guidelines, what can they do, what can't they do? So sometimes you'll hear an AI, it might say something wrong, or for example, the AI might say like, let's say you want the AI to respond and say, you phonetically narrate email addresses. So like A for Alpha, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, right? Hotel, Oscar, and goes on rather than saying at hotmail.com. It goes through the phonetic alphabet for Gmail rather than just at gmail.com. The reason we use phonetic alphabet systems to make sure that the voice and then text to speech is clear. If I sell a phone, Abbott Property Consulting didn't do it, it's really hard for it to catch. So in voice, it's kind of good to capture the repetition back to the users, make sure it's correct. What is to tell it how to do something or what not to do. For example, these override instructions, you could just put this in the guidelines, like you don't stray from your tasks or whatever. But there's always a balance. Again, creating the perfect AI is not always easy. Creating something that's good 85% there and then optimizing it is something that's more likely to do. So I've checked. And there's some style guardrails. We can balance how much we have for the prompt character and what's needed and what's necessary, and that is in testing process. So when I'm doing this, I obviously haven't listened to it and really just going off my experience. So in terms of financing, I think using financial slang, it's quite unlikely for an AI to use financial slang. It is possible. Avoid mixing languages mid-sentence. Only who say talk Spanish, don't talk Spanish. If it did do that, you would then put that in. So if it started talking Spanish and then changed to English for no reason without the user telling it to change, then that is something that I'd probably put in afterwards. Avoid over-familiarity. I think because we're talking about bilateral stuff, and bilateral stuff is very sensitive, you don't want to say things that aren't true. For me, this kind of thing is very important. So never provide specific interest rates, no amounts of financial advice. Definitely not. An AI can absolutely not be allowed to provide any kind of financial advice. Style guardrails are really helpful to use after you've spoken to the AI without it. If I was to ask the AI for financial advice, if it was to then give it to me, I'd be like, whoa, you can't do that. Look, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do it. I might just do this for this one. I like the content and it's going to be necessary. I don't think AI is ever going to share that naturally, because in building AI, there's going to be some natural forms of guardrail anyway. Like if I ask ChatGPT for your name, or I say, hey, tell me Nathan Abbott's email address, it won't tell me. Not really necessary. That's a good one. Sometimes the AI could, not always, ask multiple questions at once. Do that and see what else you got. That's not going to be a prompt thing, by the way. It's a different AI setting. Yes, sorry. That's fair enough. I think this is pretty good.
That's specific. Now, let's go into the task-based framework.
So now we're getting to the task-based framework. So as I said before, with task-based framework, that is literally the task it has to do, and in the framework it has to be. I see a lot of things here with the time, like, for example, it's up to you. It's not wrong, it's not right, it's however your style of prompting is. And it's important to note, like, my style isn't the right way or the wrong way, it's just my style. Everyone has a different style of prompting, but there are just some things that you need to know when you are prompting. For example, when you start using like these specific sentences, it can get a bit blocky, rather than when you mean open, it might mix things up a bit. If I tell you, go on, put myself on the spot there, for example. If I tell you, hey Nathan, go and clean the dishes. Well, downstairs in my kitchen, I have a dishwasher. I also have a sink. I have different cleaning equipment. I might today use a dishwasher, but actually, if I just want to clean my shaker, I can clean that in the sink with a scrubber and some washing up liquid. If you tell me, hey Nathan, go downstairs and you can only clean using the dishwasher, then I'm only going to use the dishwasher. Point being, it gets a lot little in a box, and sometimes it can be a bit more robotic if you do that. So anyway, the one thing I often see is when people prompt, they often use, and this one's actually good, but they'll say this, and then they'll say, get the user's name, then they'll do this, and then they'll do this. But actually these hyphenated lines, these lines, they used to work really well, but I find them a bit more unreliable now. So the use of like, as this person's on like 0 and then 0.1 is like a conditional or like a logic tree is good. So I recommend doing that. However, there are some things in here that I can see that are like a waste of words, okay? So let's just take a look again at the prompt. First, obviously, we want to greet the user. They have used an opening line. I think this user is going to be from Facebook ads. So from Facebook ads, we need to be a bit more, like, contextual, okay? So let me just see if they've got anything else. Okay, I guess this is it. This is the bot name calling from America site, so you're interested. Yeah, I mean, let me just take this just so I have it on me. And I'll say this is the Facebook. Hey. You can use dynamic greetings on custom fields, whatever, so I can say like whatever you want there, and I can use fields to use the bot names. For the sake of this video, I'll need it, but let's say you have a value that is like bot name, you can just use bot name. Yeah, that's how custom values and fields work. So if you use a custom value, it's just going to plug in the value that you're choosing. So if bot name is Sophia, and I put the custom value here, bot name, hello is bot name, it will be hello it is Sophia. Just for those that don't really understand how the custom values and fields work in this. So we have initial routing and language selection. Okay, so that's fine. What was the initial routing? Let's just check. So what is it? Greet the user by name, yeah? That's what they said. Because they were filling a form, and so we should have that name in there. And introduce yourself. What is the bot? What is that? Sophie font or something. And then you can say like a highlight, not calling, reaching out to the user as they registered in first on Facebook regarding first buying. What was it? What was the actual question? Yeah, buy or refund. So okay, just a second. Refunds and home. I mean, you can ask that. I'm just trying to think if you ask this during the first or to connect their language first. So I'm looking at this and it's saying if choose English, continue in English. If choose Spanish, continue in Spanish. The reality is when you tell an AI like to speak English, it will speak English. If you tell an AI to speak Spanish, it's unlikely to flip. You can put in the style guideline, only change language if specifically asked, but always start in English. I'm going to give that a try and see if that works better. My aim here is obviously to start removing some of the prompts on the task phase. So they've got 1.1 is the actual frame. So all I've done is I've just said, greet the user by their name and introduce yourself, Sophia from Americasa. They're going to probably know who it is, even if it's a text or a call, because they're just filling a form, and that's going to be all within 30 seconds of doing it. And identify whether the user likes to speak Spanish or English. Or they're going to say whatever it may be. I mean, what I can actually do quickly is just save this. Let's just try it. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Let's start the call. Oh, maybe it's because it's over. I shouldn't start. Let me check. Give me a second. Okay, so let me wait. Let me get this under 8, the characters limit, and I can do it again. So, either way, from experience, this kind of stuff is not necessary. Telling it to wait for a language choice also isn't necessary because you already asked them to identify what language they'd like to speak. That's that one. Not needed. Not needed. That's not necessary. Like, again, we can test on the call, but I just don't. Yeah, I don't. At the end of the day, like, it's 30 seconds. Like, context, right? If this was like a reactivation and you were calling business owners, then it makes sense. But for this context, it doesn't make sense. Don't need. Okay, now on to the first question. 1. Okay, so now there's a lot of prompting, right? On great, we're gonna like a lot of text. Like, all of this is just exactly what to say. Now again, it does say like some kind of intro, so I get it. So let's do 1. So 1 is outline, provide the user the reason for reaching out. And then thing to 1, I mean, I think this client wants like a specific intro. Let's read this. User reached out to complete being. We're going to help you buy him. The user registered interest in buying or refinancing same property with our $0 program. And then confirm with the user if they are available to answer questions to help off the best. And they're not offering them. Thing is, they're not actually offering this on the call. And AI can't do that. So give me a second. I need a few questions to make sure you offer the best program. At the end of this call, if we're a great fit, we'll send you a list of possibly matching your criteria and assign you to a realtor. Okay. And then able to answer questions, so we can assign. I'm just getting lost in my words. Give me a sec. Okay, so what I've done is I've just cleaned it up a bit. So we have greet the user and get their language. Tell the AI that, again, so with this one is actually quite important. We could have actually included a custom value, which was the reason. So in the flow itself, you can add like update status, like pipeline status. When they go into high level, you could update a custom where it's like, when this person goes into this pipeline, update their custom field to be this, and that can be the Facebook offer, which is about the $0 down payment. Now, what that would do is you can essentially just have, offer, which would be the context, offer context, and then you wouldn't need this. Just it would be confirming the user has on offer context. But just for the sake of time, like, I'll just do this for now. I confirm the user can answer questions, and then 1.1, if yes. If yes, proceed to task 2. 1.2, if no, what they use. If no, I say I just need. If no, okay, when you say if no, encourage user like not to need, it could cycle itself out. So what I'm gonna say is like, if no, highlight benefit and high memo time investment. If no, highlight benefit now time investment. Oh, cool. Because the thing is, like, if people want to do it, this is only 30 seconds after the call, after signing up, so you can't make someone do something. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So, if no, highlight the benefit and minimal time investment of the call, attempt to reschedule. If, I mean, like, they're just gonna hang up anyway. Like, the periods hang up, they're not that polite. So you remove this, okay. Then you remove this, you remove this. Now, the questions. Are you able to buy, refinance, or rent a property? Is that the first question? Oh, yeah, it is. So 2.
Which was determine hearing.
No, sorry, it's easy. Determine
If the instead of using user in.
That's 2. Open-ended questions allowing natural conversation you won't need to do. Like, if they have a question, the AI will answer the question based on the knowledge base it has. If they don't ask a question, it won't do it anyway. Don't need it. I believe they have 2 calendars, so that's why they're using this. We only have 1 now, so it's not necessary. So it's only 4. So actually, we won't need to do multi-calendar booking. We can just use a single calendar. Do we have that one here? Not so right now. We do have it. It's already selected. Yep, it's already selected. Okay. That's 1. So we don't need this. We don't need this. This. Oh, I mean, this is a different question, so we don't. No, that's it. 3. Was on. Determine the location the user is looking to buy. 3.1.
If not
For real. Also, politely outline
that is for
the area.
so are able to help the user.
I mean, I need to confirm with the business owner whether they want to be hung up on. I don't really know. We can do make a note, but for now, I don't think that's needed. For real.
Proceed to task 4.
4 is going to be the do you live in the United States?
Ask the user if they currently live in the United States.
It doesn't say disqualification criteria, so that's fine. Next question. Are they working in the array? Oh, actually, it's similar.
5. Determine if the user has already spoken to one or more user models.
If yes, yeah. I think is I don't actually know what the owner wants you to do, but if yes, you could just say, okay, cool, like make a note in the CRM. Yeah, for now, just for the sake of this, like I'll just carry on because I don't actually know fully like what they want us to do. Like
Next one, do you have proof of income? I think they are somewhere at tax and credit score. Some of these questions are different. I just need to check. Let me just check. Hold on 2 seconds.
okay, so the reason why some of the document apparently compared to the client, they wanted some different questions. So I'm just gonna mix and match it. Some of these questions in the current prompt don't match the one that they submitted, so it says confirm that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like blend them together just to be a bit more comprehensive and clean anyway, just so you can see my approach. So we added what type of house they want. So it's like, are you looking to buy, refinance, or rent? Are you looking to get a single family condo or townhouse? And then where are you looking to buy it? Makes sense so far.
And then they asked the timeline. So timeline, determine the timeline in which the user wishes to take action. 6.
So you don't need to do this record stuff. You can actually do the
Data extraction in the tools itself. So you don't need to do that in here. So you don't need to do that
if ASAP perfectly can move quickly. Like if you say tomorrow, it'll be like it's gonna say anyway. You don't need to tell it how to say. Don't need. They're gonna say it anyway. Don't need. We did that one again. Don't need to record it. You don't need that the AI is gonna do that for you. Again, like that's kind of the part of the personality. Credit score.
Okay. So we have, let's break this up. So we get a language, we get them confirmed, if they want to buy a townhouse, if they want to buy, refinance, or rent, what one they want to buy, where they want to buy, the time that they want to buy,
if they live in the US. No, the context, you don't need this question because, again, they've just submitted the lead, so they wouldn't die otherwise.
It was their credit score thing. Ask the user if their credit score is
580 or above.
7.1.
If yes, also positively.
Oh, my spelling. Move to task 8.
Now, again, I'm not actually sure if that's a disqualification criteria. I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure it was a disqualification criteria. If no, disqualify the prospect, the user, in the outline
we only able to provide programs to those over 18. If unsure, move to task 8 and highlight. We check on call. Okay, employment status. Okay, so 8. I ask the user if they have been employed or self-employed for the past 2 years. Like, you don't need to do this. Like, that's not needed. It's not needed. One. If yes, move to task 9. Anything. If no, again, I'm pretty sure that's disqualification criteria. Like, we only able to provide programs with those who have proof of work for past 2 years. Yeah, I would tweak this, but I'm pretty sure it's actually disqualification. Do you want me to do? Again, you don't need to tell the AI to like record. You do this automatically. Qualification. Review all 5 answers. Again, you don't need to do that here, because I've already said in here where to. You can do in that, like, if it's this answer, if it's this answer, disqualify. Like when especially like refinancing and stuff. And again, I'll have to confirm with the team, but most of the time they're very specific. Like, sorry, they will know exactly what they want to be able to provide a program to. Okay. Even here, that no, like, again, from the client, if you look at the actual what the client said, they don't want anything to do with, like, it's just like, we just want the needs that work, and then we don't want the needs that don't work. So, as soon as you do this, like credit too low, I don't know, like, they're not going to be using this business. Either way, let me just go into schedule appointment. So the scheduling of appointment, I can actually just show you a quick thing. There was a booking protocol, which we can add. What you make is task 9. We follow once you have collected the first name, last name, email address, and phone number. If you're not collecting, collect it. Right, done. So instead of all this stuff, you want to do it. So conversationally propose. I mean, first, actually, what if you do? Sorry, I'm saying in 9, like, highlight that they've kind of qualified, right? Outline enthusiastically highlight who has qualified to book, how to book and discuss the best program with a designated agent. Determine if the user wants to go ahead and book a suitable time. Then it's gonna, I mean, I'd have to test this, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna get there. Be interesting to actually test this. Conversationally propose. How many times? Unknown. Aim to a morning time and afternoon time. Actually, let's be a bit more. Determine if the user prefers, if the user is more available in morning or afternoon. If morning, provide 2 to 3 earliest morning appointments. Earliest available morning appointments. 10.3. If afternoon, provide afternoon appointments. This. Oh, actually, I'm just using this. So that actually, sometimes you can use specific text. Okay. We don't need to booking locations, because as I said, it's just one calendar, so we can just remove that. If it's 2 calendars, we need to use a multi-calendar matrix. The multi-calendar matrix can be found in the snippet section. But yeah, let's just remove that. I might just try quick if it does that name anyway. I can do it anyway. Gather users first name, full gather users email address, and confirm by repeating in phonetic alphabet. That is A for alpha, E for bravo. Is that like that? I see the same. We'll see if it's fine. 10.3, gather users phone number, and confirm. Then I'm back to narrating individual digits, schedule the desired appointment for the user. I just realized on here, sometimes, and I'll see if this works, the AI can say when it's doing something, like it will call the tool. So be like, I'm now going to update your profile. It's like, you don't want to say that. So do not narrate any tool calling of updating details, booking appointments, or custom tool. Only silently for that. Name slash English. Yep. And then I think they had some like, or we can say that afterwards. Like we'll send them a thing, and then they will receive an email confirmation with a Zoom link. We will provide a list of properties matching your criteria once we have gathered. If you need to reschedule, simply call or text this number. Thank the user for their day and politely end the call. Done that. This is all custom tools again. We don't need this in the prompt. Like, we can do the do not contact in the prompt. Don't need to do that in the prompt. If they're hostile, the AI is going to jump ship anyway. It's not going to happen if they're already a client, because they're not. Again, like, Action AI can handle objections quite naturally anyway. If that does happen, I just do that afterwards. You don't need that, because I just said that's in the guardrails. Okay, so actually it says here, get email for early control. The more I'm thinking about this, we already maybe have the email from the need form. So actually we might not even need the email. But again, just so you can see my walkthrough, let's leave that for now. In compliance, I'm saying, what we say is like, any questions specifically around mortgage rates, outline this is discussed on the call with your advisor. But we already need it here. That's not that new. And then this multi-calendar is not needed because there's only one calendar. And so there we have it. A prompt that was over 8,000 characters is now 4,300. And again, look, the whole point is will there be some things I probably am going to need to add to the style guidelines? Probably. But my point being is there was a lot of over-prompting, and so when we actually do it, it's very hard to see.
Hello.
Good morning, guest.
guest.
My name is Sophia, and I'm with Americasa. I understand you're interested in our zero down payment program. Would you prefer to continue in English, or would you like me to switch to Spanish?
Spanish, please.
Por supuesto. Mucho gusto, guest. Como le dije, soy Sofía de Americasa. Entiendo que tiene interés en nuestro programa de cero pago inicial. Para poder enviarle propiedades que coincidan con sus criterios y programar una llamada con un agente de bienes raíces asignado, necesito hacerle algunas preguntas rápidas para confirmar que este programa es adecuado para usted. ¿Está de acuerdo en responder algunas preguntas?
Yeah, sorry, I don't actually speak Spanish. I was just testing. Can we talk in English? I want to have this conversation in English.
No problem at all, guest. Happy to switch back to English. So, as I mentioned, I'm Sophia from Americasa. I understand you're interested in our zero down payment program. To send you properties that match your criteria and schedule a call with an assigned realtor, I need to ask you a few quick questions to confirm this program is a good fit for you. Are you able to answer a few questions?
Yep, I have some time. Is this going to take like...
Great. First, are you looking to buy, refinance, or rent a property?
How long is this going to take? Because I'm quite busy.
It only take about 5-10 minutes, guest. It's just a few questions to see if our program is the right fit for you.
Oh, okay then. Okay, I have 5 minutes.
Okay, great. First, are you looking to buy, refinance, or rent a property?
I'm looking to buy.
Perfect. And what type of property are you interested in? A single-family home, condo, or townhouse?
A single family home.
Got it. And where are you looking to buy? Which location?
Florida.
Okay, great. And what's your timeline for buying a home? Are you looking to buy in the next few months, or is it further out?
Probably in the next 6 months.
Okay, perfect. Do you currently live in the United States?
Yeah, I live in the US right now.
Great. And would you say your credit score is 580 or above? If you're not sure, we can always check during your consultation.
Is 592.
Fantastic. And have you been employed or self-employed for the past 2 years?
Yep, I have been.
Fantastic. Based on your answers, you definitely qualify for our programs. Let me schedule your free consultation with our licensed loan officer. Okay?
Yeah, is that free or does it cost? Sorry.
Yes, the consultation is absolutely free.
Oh, okay, let's do it then.
Great. To schedule your consultation, I'll need a bit more information. Could you please provide your full name?
Nathan Abbott, Nathan Abbott.
Yeah. Okay, great. And what's your email address, Nathan? And please spell it out so I can make sure I get it right.
It's abbott236@gmail.com. So ABBOTTCONCULTING.
Yeah. Okay, let me confirm. That's A for Alpha, B for Bravo, B for Bravo, O for Oscar, T for Tango, consulting 236@gmail.com.
Gmail.
No problem at all. So A for Alpha, B for Bravo, B for Bravo, O for Oscar, T for Tango, consulting 236@gmail.com.
Yep.
Perfect. And finally, what's your phone number, Nathan?
+66 800 959 556.
Okay, let me confirm that back to you. +66 800 959 556.
Yep.
Perfect. Now, are you generally more available in the morning or afternoon for a consultation?
Morning.
Okay, great. Looking at the calendar, I have a few slots open tomorrow morning. Would 9 a.m., 10 a.m., or 11 a.m. work for you?
10 a.m.
Perfect. Let me get that scheduled for you. Okay, Nathan, you're all set for a free consultation with our licensed loan officer tomorrow at 10 a.m. You'll receive an email confirmation with a Zoom link, and we'll also send you a list of properties matching your criteria once we've gathered them for you. If you need to reschedule, simply call or text this number.
Thank you, I appreciate it, Sophia. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Nathan. I'm happy I could help. Have a great day.
So, I mean, look, that was kind of me, like, commentating over an hour, I say. But the reality is like, is it perfect? No, there's things in my ear, like, that I want to fix. Like, looking through this pool, it says, like, okay, great, perfect, okay, like, okay, great, fantastic. It's a bit repetitive. With that being said, right, we like deploy this. And there was a bit of an issue on I think that's because of my microphone right now. I'm using to record this screen, I'm using a really bad microphone, but it's pretty good. I mean, there's a bit of a repetition on these two here, but it's not the end of the world. It still works very well. So the point being is, does it do the job? Yes. Is it going to do it 24/7 and do it accurately and reliably? Absolutely, because I built it that way. And so that's something that costs 5K. I can get that live pretty much tomorrow, and I can tweak it where I hear more live conversations after 10 or 20 phone calls to see how well it works. But again, now you can kind of see my thought processes, my thinking, and how I will be very specific. I include in specific parts of the prompt, and why I'll specifically remove other parts. And I also think about context when I'm prompting. If you have any questions, obviously you can message me in Slack. I'm more than happy to, maybe have a look over your prompt. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care.